Hello, Courtney.
Hello.
I'm so excited we finally are meeting. I feel like I know you because we've known each other off social media, but we've never met.
I know it's so fun meeting people that you've just been following for years, and I feel like I know you already. But
Yeah. I love your content, and I feel like we have such a similar story in terms of how much we care about like gut health
Yeah.
and hormone health and how the mind and the body are so connected.
Yeah.
But we definitely have very different experiences, like
Yeah.
what got us into this field in the first place.
yeah,
What would you say? You don't have to go over like your whole story, but what would
Yeah.
you say was the thing that really sparked your interest in health in the first place?
I spark notes version of my story, but I struggled a lot with my mental health for most of my life. Starting at a really young age, I was placed on antidepressants at a really young age in elementary school, and nothing was working for me. And I just reached a breaking point of this has been 15 plus years of going through the same thing, going through the same struggles, medication obviously not working, and there has to be something missing. So that drove my deep dive into like, let's figure this out. And that's when I found out about like, hey, what you're eating actually has a really big impact in how you're feeling and your mental health and your gut health, and just how correlated all of that was. And it was something that no doctor had ever taught me. And once you start learning and once you start feeling better and implementing these changes, it just kind of starts the obsession with it.
Yeah,
the
it
passion.
really is like the biggest rabbit hole.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's tough because I went through a lot of doctors as well.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody, like, you kind of just have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
But I feel like it builds so much character and you learn so much about yourself and your body and how you respond to different things through that journey. And then obviously it put us both in this career path.
Yeah.
What was the first thing that you changed?
I started going down kind of the rabbit hole of trying different diets and like those fad diets. So I cut out, I think the first thing I tried, I was like, let me try cutting out dairy. And with that, naturally, it's like it comes with, okay, the dairy-free alternatives and like gluten-free, the gluten-free alternatives. So it was like I was trying to change the diet, but I had no idea like where to even begin with that. And once I started learning that, because I did start feeling a little bit better when I removed the gluten and I removed some of these like more inflammatory foods that I think was causing some inflammation at the time, also the quality of the food I was eating. But yeah, diet was definitely the first thing where I was like, wow, the panic attacks started drastically decreasing. It was going from 7 panic attacks a week to maybe 1 or 2. And then the next
Wow.
month it was like, okay, we only had 2 panic attacks this entire month. And it was like the more that my diet changed, the more that my taste buds also changed and the less I started craving, because I had the worst diet. Like it was fully just all processed foods, and that's just what I was used to. And I was always like more in shape. And so I thought the only correlation, the only reason why people would eat healthy is to like lose weight or look a certain way. And I had no idea that there was the correlation of the mental health aspect as well. So yeah, I would say diet was definitely the biggest thing, and that really started everything.
It's weird how, because we all know that our diet affects like our weight and our
Yeah.
skin and these sorts of things. But I feel like even still now, nobody really talks about how it affects your mental health.
No.
But that's a crazy change, going from that many panic attacks, like to it drastically decreasing like that. That must have like changed everything for you.
Yeah, because a little bit more of my story, I was going to a psychiatrist at the time, and I'd been on just about every single SSRI antidepressant there was. And I was on a certain medication and the highest dose of it at the time. And I was in college, and I went back to her because I was having crazy panic attacks. And I'm like, I was dealing with OCD and anxiety and just everything. Depression was coming on, and I was like, this isn't normal. And we've tried just about every medication, and I'm on the highest dose there is of this one. Like, what else can we do? And she looked at me, and for the first time ever, she looked like she was out of ideas and solutions. And she was like, I know you're on the highest dose, so I don't want this to freak you out, but I'm going to up your dose even more because your body can handle it.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
was 5'2", maybe 105 pounds at the time, like 21, 22 years old. And that was just that intuitive feeling. I was like, no, like this can't be the only thing. But yeah, all those doctor's appointments, not once did she ask about my diet. Not once did she ask about the relationships in my life, my lifestyle, my habits, my routines. Like none of that was questioned.
Dang.
Yeah.
Is there anxiety like in your family, or where do you think that came from?
This is like my $1 million question that I still don't fully know. Yeah, to an extent. Like I think both my parents always dealt with it on some degree and some level, and I think most people do. But So the extreme that I had it, I don't know. Actually, in posting about it more openly on social media over the years, I've had a lot of people message me like, it could have been this, or it could have been that, or it could have been related to, I had strep throat 4 times a year every year as a kid. And I've now read that there's correlations between that. So I don't know if something got triggered from it. But yeah, really just I went from being a normal, typical kid to one day first panic attack, and it just set everything off.
Yeah. My little sister she used to have like debilitating anxiety.
I remember you messaging me. That's how we connected, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you posted something. It's the fear of throwing up.
Emetophobia.
Emetophobia. So my sister grew up and had the worst emetophobia ever. And I think because back then people didn't really understand what anxiety was.
Yeah.
She was feeling like, oh my gosh, I have stomach aches. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And it was really that she was anxious, but in her brain, it was like, oh, I'm sick. And so she was in school, and every time she would feel sick, she would go to the little doctor that was in school. And eventually her teachers were like, we're not sending you to the doctor anymore. Like, you're not sick. Like, you're just trying to get out of class.
Yeah.
But she was having anxiety and nobody knew.
Yeah.
And so like every time she was feeling it, like just was this vicious cycle in her head. And then she would see other people get sick or like throw up, and then it would send her into a panic attack.
That was exactly me to a T. Yeah. I spent, because there's such, and I know we'll probably get into it, but the gut brain connection. Like, so my biggest cycle growing up was I was really anxious, and my biggest symptom of anxiety was nausea. So then I'd be super nauseous, and I was like, this can't just be anxiety, I must be sick. So I was going to the nurse's office every day. I was trying to stay home from school. Somebody always had a stomach ache in school growing up in elementary school. So it was always this constant trigger and this constant anxiety, but I was always nauseous and always anxious. So then I was always nauseous. Like it was the hamster wheel of it.
Yeah. It's wild because we don't like know that those two things are connected until somebody tells us that, or until we eventually figure it out ourselves, like way later in life. Yeah. And then it all makes so much sense. But the nervous system and like our bodies aren't separate. And I feel like that's one of the things that so many people misunderstand, because in, like traditional medicine, you learn about all of the systems in the body as like completely separate entities. Yeah. But they're all working together. Like we're not just an organ system. Like our nervous system and our brain and our emotions and everything is so interconnected. Yeah. And I recently learned that I have like I kind of went through like 2 health transformations. Yeah. And one of mine was 2 years ago, and I randomly developed like all of this really cystic acne on my face out of nowhere. And I had basically had perfect skin like my whole life. Yeah. And I think there was a lot of factors that went into it. I think my apartment had mold in it. And so I think that was like a huge thing. Yeah. But during this time, I was also just like super stressed. And I've always been someone that like suppresses my emotions. Like I keep things to myself. I like work through all my problems internally. I'm not like a huge sharer. Yeah. And I think during that time, I was like holding in a lot of emotions and a lot of stress. And I think that was just throwing my hormones and everything completely off. Yeah. And it manifested as acne. And in my brain, I want to like scientifically validate everything. And I'm like, oh, this hormone must have been up, which caused like, all this stuff. But I think there is like a huge emotional, spiritual component to all of these things. So much so that like we can't even understand it. Yeah. And I think so many people that deal with like anxiety and stress and depression and all these things are having physical symptoms and they don't understand why, but emotional health and mental health is like a huge part of it.
Huge. And that was always like what you said specifically about needing the scientific reason. I still struggle with that sometimes. And I'm like realizing firsthand, your environment, your relationships, if you're not processing your emotions, if like whatever the case may be, that plays such a role. And sometimes it's hard to grasp that concept that something emotional can be causing it, but your body is just always communicating with you. Yeah. And it's always telling you something and whatever the root cause may be. But I've gone down the rabbit hole of like, I need every single lab test to give every single answer, know exactly what this is going on.
Yeah. It's like with all of the testing and everything, I think all that stuff is so interesting and so useful. But I don't know how you feel about this, but do you think people are attaching themselves too much to like a certain diagnosis or like finding an answer? And do you feel like that I know it can help people, but I feel like sometimes it hinders people. What do you feel about that?
Absolutely, yeah. And this was a really, even just like my own personal experience with it, and something that I've more recently broken out of. But I had that identity of, you have anxiety, you have OCD, you have like XYZ, or you have even like PCOS, or I've dealt with all of these different diagnoses over the years. And it was always such a big part of who I felt like I was.
Yeah.
And I found that it was really hard to break out of like healing it. It was really hard to heal it and break out of the symptoms of it when like that was just a part of what I was told by doctors and family and myself over the years for so many years. So I really think that, yeah, people are like, okay, we get a diagnosis and it's overwhelming. And it's like a lot of times I also think we're told that we can't heal from it and it's a part of us. And so I think that really becomes something that really keeps us stuck as well.
I totally agree. I feel like it can be very validating and helpful to understand, so that then you can be like, okay, this is what's happening with me. Now I know a plan that I can like put in place to make changes. But if you get too stuck on like the diagnosis and it becomes like your identity, then I feel like that adds extra stress and anxiety ultimately.
Yeah. And you kind of become a little bit obsessive with trying to heal it and trying to fix it. And it also gives you this narrative that there's something wrong with you and there's something to fix. And that can be a whole vicious cycle to really break out of too.
Completely.
Yeah.
In addition to your diet, when you were trying to manage your anxiety, what were other things that you implemented?
The nervous system was a big one and something I'm still actively working on. I think that's a constant work in progress.
Yeah.
But I'd say nervous system and really just allowing my body to slow down and not be in this like go, go, go mentality all the time. Getting my routines down. So like I'm really big on the morning sunlight and just having that time to myself to ground. Because I also realized how much of my lifestyle was getting up and rushing, going right on the phone, checking social media, and then going to a job I didn't enjoy. And just like when you're in this lifestyle and this environment that's keeping you stressed, it's keeping you sick.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, having a movement routine that felt good for my body and reducing toxins in my everyday life, that was also adding to the inflammation in my body. Like there's so many different pillars and layers, but yeah, I would say the big two were probably the nervous system and the diet for sure.
Okay. When you talk about reducing toxins, are there like certain products that you've swapped out?
Yeah, just about everything in my house.
Really?
Yeah. Because I noticed it was like the more that I was, because it was the anxiety journey and then it was the hormone journey, and it was like everything just started tying together, and I got lab results back and I was like, oh, my thyroid's off, my hormones are off. I'm like, okay, I'm eating better, but I think there's still more to it. And yeah, non-toxic beauty products, deodorant, shampoos, like cleaning products. Like over time, like it's been 7 years of slowly making swaps. But yeah, no, I got really particular now on just like what is going on in my body and in the kitchen, the cookware, like really just slowly swapping things out. And I also feel like I've learned a lot through social media of just like to an overwhelming extent. Sometimes if you go on every time you go on, someone's like, oh, this is bad for you, or this is toxic for you. So it's doing what you can, but definitely even just seeing lab markers over the years, I'm like, no, this stuff does make a difference because the toxic load in your body does add up.
Yeah. It's a lot. I follow people on social media too. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to switch out like my candles, my makeup, my like the stuff I spray my countertops with, like everything, my shampoo. And there's a lot of stuff I have switched. Yeah. But a lot of it, like I use some natural deodorants, but some of them, like, they just don't work.
I got a new one the other day. I'm like, this doesn't work at all.
Doesn't work.
No.
And then the natural shampoo and conditioner, I'm like, I can't.
Doesn't work.
I can't get down with that.
You pick and choose.
Yeah, you pick and choose, and we do what we can. And one supplement I love taking for that is glutathione.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because it helps with the oxidative stress that our bodies are so overloaded with from like literally everything in our environment. Like when you go down the water rabbit hole and the air rabbit hole and all that sort of stuff, you realize how many toxins are in our environment. But like you said, like you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
And so just like doing what I can with taking stuff like that has helped a lot physically, but also just like mentally to not stress about it so much.
Have you felt a difference like physically just taking that?
I actually have. Yeah. Like I feel like, especially living in Miami, well, one, I wasn't filtering my water for a long time and I was like, ooh, I didn't realize how bad that was. So I started filtering my water And I did switch a lot of my skincare too, which really helped. But the glutathione is amazing. Yeah. And also I take curcumin.
Yes. Yeah.
Which really helps with the inflammation.
Yeah. And glutathione too, isn't that good to take when you're traveling too? Flying? Yes. Yeah. That's what I've heard. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Those two, the glutathione and the curcumin, I both take when I travel because there's just so much going on with like the airplane. Yeah. Your diet's off. You're not getting as much sleep.
Yeah.
So those two are like the ones that I take with me when I travel, and a digestive enzyme too, because we need a little.
That I will not travel without. Yeah. Yeah. That's like a necessary constant. Yeah.
Did your anxiety affect your gut health at all?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I became sensitive to everything. And I think the more that I removed out of my diet and the more I started changing my diet, the more I realized how much my body was actually responding to what I was eating. I think it was so normalized. When I was eating the way that I was eating, everything was processed. Like I didn't think twice about what I was putting into my body. I think I was so used to feeling sick, and I was used to the brain fog and the exhaustion and my cycles just being all over the place and the anxiety that was kind of just your norm. And I don't think sometimes we realize how sick we actually felt until we start to feel better. And these symptoms are just normalized. Like it was normal to be bloated after every meal. It's normal to get exhausted at 3 p.m. every single day. And yeah, I really started to, what was your original question?
I don't even remember. Oh, if your anxiety affected your gut health at all.
Yeah. And I started to really just notice that like every time I was anxious, and like I mentioned before, every time I was anxious, I was getting nauseous or my stomach started to hurt. And I was in denial for a really long time that was from the anxiety. Yeah. And I read this book probably like 4 or 5 years ago called The Mind-Gut Connection, or The Mind-Brain Connection, Mind-Gut Connection. And it really opened my eyes, and it started talking about how roughly 90% of serotonin is produced in your gut and your immune system resides in your gut. And like all of these connections, I'm like, oh, like all of these symptoms this entire time was actually from anxiety. And to this day, if I'm feeling anxious, the first place I feel it is in my stomach, and my digestion gets thrown off. And when you're in a state of fight or flight, like your body's not prioritizing digestion because it's trying to keep you safe and it's focusing on fighting off whatever dangers in front of you. So yeah, my digestion was always, the first thing that would take a hit.
Yeah. I didn't realize, because when I first got into all this, I had really bad gut issues. That was like my whole thing. And I went through a whole journey of like cutting out a million foods, and I went on the Candida cleanse and did this like really extreme thing. And it got me so far. But I remember at the time I was dating this guy, and he looked at me one day and he was like, you don't realize that you are a ball of stress. And I really think that's like affecting your stomach. And I was like, you're so stupid. Like, no, it's not. And I was in denial. And he was like, listen, I think you should just like do a meditation like once a day or something. And I was like, fine, whatever. Like I grew up with my dad meditate. Like I would walk downstairs and my dad would be sitting in a chair, like cross-legged, like this. I remember it so specifically. And I was always like, Dad, what are you doing? And he was like, meditating. But I had never done it. Yeah. And so I started meditating every night. And I was doing specific meditations that were for IBS, because that's what I just assumed was going on at the time. And there were meditations where it would be like, you're walking through a hallway and you see a pole that is your digestive system. Now look at the pole and just imagine the food moving through the pole, like the most ridiculous thing ever, but it literally worked. Yeah. And that was when I first really realized that like there is such a strong gut-brain connection. And even if you're someone like me that I feel emotions, but I feel like I push them down so much my whole life that sometimes I don't actually realize when I'm stressed out. And so it ends up just immediately manifesting physically. And once you make that connection, it like literally changes everything.
It changes everything. Yeah. And even like, I still have moments where my stomach will hurt or I'll get nauseous and I'm like, this probably can't be the stress. Like it probably can't be the anxiety or like the stressful conversation I had an hour ago. But like, cause it's just hard. Like it's a hard concept to grasp that they're so connected. But yeah, it's huge correlation.
Yeah. And it's a hard thing to fix too, because when you're dealing with gut health, you want to just say like, change your diet this way, take these supplements, like do this, like very structured, specific things that you can implement. But when you're dealing with stress and anxiety, it's so personal, not that supplements and diet aren't, but like it's like a very like airy, I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but like it's not like a static thing.
Yeah.
Like it changes all the time, and there's no like one roadmap to fix it.
And everyone experiences it so differently too.
Yeah.
Like even the emetophobia being an example. Like this is such a specific type of anxiety.
So specific. And I didn't even realize like it was a common thing.
Yeah. I genuinely thought I was the only person who experienced it. So I didn't tell people. Like my parents knew, my family knew, but I didn't tell people because I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like no one likes throwing up, but I'm terrified of it, where it consumed everything. And I posted a TikTok about it probably 4 years ago, and it went viral. And it's just like thousands of comments of, you just explained my entire life. And I'm like, oh wow, like people actually experience this, and I wasn't crazy. Like this is something that, people actually deal with.
It's wild. My sister, this is like so off topic, but my sister just had food poisoning like 3 weeks ago.
How did she handle it?
That was the first time she's thrown up in like, since she was like a child.
Wow.
And she did not do well.
Yeah.
But she recovered from it like so quickly. Like the next day she was like, okay, that was like traumatic and terrible, but now I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I think it's so impressive how you can go from being like completely paralyzed from those sorts of things to then experiencing it and then being able to move on.
Yeah, building that resilience with it too, because that's also what I've learned. Like your mind makes things out to be so much worse than they actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I even think back to the gut health, like when I was nauseous, my like go-to remedy was a stack of Ritz crackers and some ginger ale.
Really?
That was, but I'm like, this is just adding to the anxiety on a physical level without even knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those foods, like it's, I understand having like a security blanket for that sort of stuff. Like I have a friend that's anxious and she chews gum all the time for it.
Yeah.
But I get it. But those sorts of things, like gum has so many artificial sweeteners, and I'm like, just like switch the gum to something else.
Better one.
Yeah. Find something like a little bit better. But there's, I guess, going now into like artificial sweeteners and ingredients and those sorts of things. Are there certain ingredients that you try to avoid completely now?
Artificial sweeteners are a really big one. Like I will always find the alternative. Like even if I'm buying, whether it's like a drink or ice cream, whatever, like I always make sure. I even just bought, I think it was the Simply gum or something from Whole Foods. Yeah. Just really, that's the one thing that I was like really big on, just because the research I've done on how much that can impact your gut health. And whenever I'm thinking about gut health, I'm like, okay, gut health and mental health. The artificial colors, like I will avoid completely.
Yeah.
I'd say those are probably the two biggest ones. Artificial flavors. Okay, three biggest ones: artificial flavors, the artificial sweeteners, and the colors. Yeah, and then I'm mindful with the seed oils and like gums and things like that. I'm not as strict with it. Like I try to eat mostly whole foods when I'm out, or I'm like eating out at someone's house or a restaurant. I'm not super particular, but I have like the 90-10. I feel like you just posted this on your story yesterday, maybe in your Q&A, but the 90-10 mentality with it.
I think that's a good place to be, because I also avoid artificial sweeteners like the plague, just because I used to eat like Halo Top and like Quest bars.
So it was low carb and low calorie. And
yeah, all those things, and they completely wrecked my gut, and I had to do so much work to build it back up. So like I know how those things impact me, so I just avoid them completely. But if I'm like at a restaurant, I'm not asking the waiter if they cook with seed oils.
Yeah. And I think that's when you take the stress out of it too, like, because the stress of worrying about every single detail is going to do more harm than having something every once in a while. So I think it's really knowing your body, listening to your body, knowing what your body does like and doesn't like. Because then also when you do that, it's not going to feel like you're depriving yourself of anything, because it's like, why would I put something to my body that's not making me feel good? And the mentality around it changes.
Totally. And I think when you go through a health journey, once you like experience how bad things make you feel, you don't want them anymore.
No.
Because you're like, this gluten cookie, I eat gluten cookies now, but like there was a time when I couldn't eat gluten cookies. There was a time when those like completely would send me into a flare for like a week. And I was like, this is so not worth it for me.
Yeah.
And I think people that don't experience gut issues specifically don't understand that.
Yeah.
And I had so many friends that were like, why don't you just eat like, this piece of cake? And I was like, it's not because I'm scared of the calories or think it's going to like make me gain weight or something. It's because I know that this is going to make my stomach hurt so bad. I'm going to have to go home and curl up in a ball in my bed. And I don't want that.
And I think I'll get messages or comments about that of like, or do you not feel restrictive doing this? Or like, how do you like have the willpower? I'm like, you just want to feel good.
Yeah. And it's not even about willpower.
No. I'm like, I just don't want to feel sick anymore. And once you start to see the changes and you start to feel the changes, you just don't want it anymore. Mm-hmm. And that starts the whole rabbit hole that we've talked about.
It really is a rabbit hole. And what you said earlier, I love, and I had the same experience. Like, you feel so sick for so long. And then once that veil lifts and you're like, oh my God, this is what I'm supposed to be feeling like, you just can't go back.
No. Yeah. You don't realize, and I think I said this earlier, but you don't realize how good your body is capable of feeling. And I always say, like, my favorite saying is your body is capable of healing if you give it just half a chance. Like, it's my favorite saying.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, like, what. When you were dealing with all of your gut health stuff, were there any supplements that you took?
I made the mistake of going down the rabbit hole and trying everything and anything I could find and people were suggesting.
I did too.
Yeah. I had a lot of luck with L-glutamine. Probiotics I started. Digestive enzymes were a big one for me. Mm-hmm. Trying to think what else. Yeah, I think it was a lot of trial and error for me. And then there were also, I went down the rabbit hole of also just like trying way too many things that my body could tolerate at the time, which is when I was like, oh, I should probably test and see what my gut needs and like what's actually going on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't remember. There were a lot of things that I've tried that like did or didn't work.
Yeah, I feel like we've all tried everything.
You see something online and people are like, oh, this cured XYZ. I'm like, perfect.
Exactly. When I was dealing with all of my issues, I think the first thing I started with was a peppermint oil capsule because my dad told me to take that. And it actually really helps. It just helps like soothe your digestive tract. I tried probiotics as well, but those honestly didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
And then I was taking L-glutamine for a while and I was drinking a slippery elm tea, which I feel like is so good.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the tea was called. It doesn't really matter. But I was doing that tea, L-glutamine, and then I was also taking oregano oil. Mm-hmm. And now I put all my clients on L-glutamine and slippery elm. And there's actually a supplement now from Terra Health. It's the Solustix for gut, and they have slippery elm and L-glutamine. I'm like, I wish that I had this when I was dealing with that. Yeah. Because there's so many different brands. Like if you look on Amazon, there's like a million, and I feel like none of them are good.
No. Yeah, and that's I think the issue of like, I think a lot of them are also just single. Like I like what you said about how it's both. Yeah. And like so many of them just have like, oh, try this or try that. And it's overwhelming.
And then you end up spending like $1 million on a bunch of things that you don't even know the quality of them.
I've spent like an embarrassing amount on supplements in the past.
Yeah. One thing I recently learned was that a lot of things like I was talking about earlier, the glutathione and the curcumin, if they're not in a liposomal form.
Okay. I've been going down a rabbit hole of learning about this more recently too.
Yeah. What have you found on it?
Just how much, because you might need to like correct me if I'm wrong here, but the liposomal specifically is actually making sure your body's properly absorbing it and using it, right?
Yeah.
And how a lot of supplements are just I don't know what the opposite of liposomal is, just regular.
Just regular like powder or in a capsule.
And how your body's not actually utilizing it as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, because some like certain molecules of supplements need to be protected in the lipid. Otherwise, it doesn't survive your digestive system. So you're just like peeing it right out, and it's not doing anything for your body. So I try to make sure always when I do vitamin D, B12, glutathione, and curcumin that they're always in a liposomal supplement.
Yeah. No, I just recently learned about that. I was like, this is probably why my levels haven't changed that much.
Yeah, it's crazy because I didn't know that until recently either. Yeah. And I'm a nutritionist. So it's like there's always new science and new studies coming out. And that's what's also so crazy about like this whole like nutrition supplement health world is we don't know what we don't know. Yeah. And there's just so much new stuff coming out all the time.
Yeah. I'll get overwhelmed like by my own content sometimes. I'm like,
same.
I'm like, this is a lot. And so I try to always preface, I'm like, do what you can. I'm like, I'm sharing what I'm learning and what I'm knowing and what I'm doing. But this is, especially if you're like new to this world and this space. And then everyone, like majority of my feed constantly is people like us in the wellness space. It's like every single day I'm learning something, and there's something else that like you can always improve and change. And yeah, there's a lot to it.
It's really overwhelming. I feel like the last year I've gotten fatigue of like my own content and then also wellness content, because it's so much. And it's hard to then, like when you do this as a career, it's hard to like take a step back from it and be like, okay, it's not that serious, because it is serious for a lot of people. Yeah. But I feel like for us, when we've been on this journey for so long, there's like stages to it. Yeah. And I feel like once you start feeling better, you care less about like the minute details, and you forget that like people don't know certain things. And it's just tough. Like, this is off topic as well, but like, what is your experience been on Instagram and also like your health and wellness clients?
I guess with what specifically around?
Like with your specific journey with like anxiety and gut health and all those sorts of things. And do you feel like I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, who specifically comes to you? Yeah. And where do you, what stage in the process do you typically find them at?
Ironically, just about every single one of the clients I've worked with have been basically carbon copies of the version of me from like 12 years ago. They've all been like the amount of women I've worked with who had the emetophobia, the anxiety, the OCD. And they've all been people who are really in the beginning stages, but kind of at their breaking point of like, what I'm doing isn't working, or my doctor said medication was the only answer. But like, I'm seeing, that's, I think, the power of also me sharing my story so much online and like allowing myself to be vulnerable on there, because I'm relating a lot to these women who have been told that like the anxiety is just like a part of them and something they'll always deal with. And now being on the other side of it, and it's like there's a correlation of like why I'm so passionate and I don't want to say strict, but particular on how I live my life, my lifestyle, my diet, and all of that, because it's allowed me to break free from so much of that anxiety. So, it's really women who are ready to start to make changes, because that's the biggest thing. I'm like, you can know some of this stuff, but if you're not at your breaking point and you're not ready to do this, like, you can't force somebody to start eating differently or taking care of themselves differently, or, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. It's a shame that we have to hit like rock bottom in order to make changes. Yeah. But I feel like that's kind of just like part of being a human. Yeah. Like, I've tried to like backtrack on that and like figure out how we can not get to rock bottom. But I feel like that kind of has to happen for a lot of us. Yeah,
what I've noticed too in the wellness space, connecting with so many people, like so many of my friends now that I've met down in Florida are all in the wellness space, and every single person that I've met has some story of being chronically sick. Yeah. And that's why they're in the space they're in now. Like every creator that I've met or connected with or messaged, everybody seems to have a story of they hit that rock bottom, and that's why they're as passionate as they are, because we've seen firsthand at how much this stuff truly makes an impact.
Yeah. When the girls come to you, do you work with men too, or just girls?
It's just been girls. I just find I connect with them better. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. That might change down the road, but it hasn't in the past 7 years. So.
Yeah. When they come to you, what do you first start with? Is it diet, exercise, mindset?
Yeah, I do so I have an online course that I built out called Breaking Free, and it's basically an online 10-week program of helping them make a lot of changes. So I have gut health in there, nutrition, the brain nurturing, like mindset aspect of things, nervous system regulation. I have it all kind of together, the habits, routines. We start really with just bringing that awareness in. So I'm like, you got to find your why. You got to like really make sure the motivation, and not even the motivation, but the drive is there. But I like to start with habits and just really bring awareness of like, what is your day to day and how is this stuff starting to impact you? Because I also find, and I found this with myself too, if you try to make so many changes at once and you're like, okay, everything is toxic for me, everything is bad, it's super overwhelming and you want nothing to do with any of it.
Yeah.
So I really try to just like baby steps, because I'm also working with women who are dealing with anxiety. So I think the last thing I'm trying to do is make you anxious about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's a slippery slope, because I'm like, this could be really overwhelming of like finding out that this stuff is actually bad for you, or this stuff might be contributing, and it can make you overthink and kind of overanalyze and get kind of anxious about your day to day. So I really just try to be as gentle as possible while also having that like the coaching mentality with it and try to find that balance of like, okay, what did my past self need 10, 20 years ago? So yeah, really bringing awareness in of like, okay, what are you doing the first thing in the morning? Are you checking your social media? Are you eating breakfast at all? Are you like, is your breakfast just a quick like frozen waffle? Like, what are we really doing here? And yeah, and then slowly making the changes from there.
Yeah, I love that, because you have to implement things slowly or you're going to burn out.
Completely.
Yeah, like the whole 75 hard thing.
Yeah.
It's like a million things that you have to do for 75 days. And I understand it, and I completely get it for, you know, it's like a great challenge, like a mental challenge. But if we try and approach health and wellness, and especially mental health like that, it's too much all at once, and it's never going to be sustainable.
No. And it's, you almost start to resent it.
Yeah.
That's why I've seen the 75 soft. I'm like, that seems better.
I like the 75 soft.
Yeah. Have you done it?
No.
Me neither.
But I would.
Yeah, it seems a little bit, Yeah, I think I would get to like day 7 of the 75 hard, and I'm like, I hate every part of this.
Yeah, all the exercising is crazy. You like lift and work out a lot. What's your experience with that been?
I was just having a conversation with this like an hour ago. So I was crazy with strength training. I was working with a coach. I was in the gym 6+ days a week at like 4 a.m. before my 9-to-5 job at the time. Yeah, like all phases of my cycle, just like really pushing myself, which was great. And I was in the best shape of my life. Like, it was awesome. My body hated it. My hormones hated it. And, you know, it was not ideal. I've learned over the years that rest is important, and we shouldn't go hard 6 days of the week and like not ever give ourselves time to rest. So fast forward to now, because that was, I was running for a bit, strength training, and it did help my mental health though. Like, and that's why I really fell in love with it. I'm like, I feel so good. This is like a really good avenue for clearing my mind. Like, my body just felt so much less anxious, and it was great. But, you know, there's other hormones did not. So now I'm doing strength training 3 days a week. I like doing mat Pilates 2 times a week. That's been newer, but it's been just like gentle and fun and kind of girly. I just like
it's very girly.
Yeah, I love it.
All the girlies love.
I really love
Pilates.
it. I really love it. And then just walks. I was running for a bit. I was trying to force it. I'm like not a runner. So, which you are, right?
Well, I was never a runner until recently.
Yeah. How's that been?
It's been great. I've done every exercise thing like ever.
Yeah.
I grew up a competitive dancer, so I was dancing like 4 hours a day, like until I was probably 18.
Wow.
So I grew up like my whole life just like in the dance studio, like and I was like used to exercising that aggressively. And then I went to college, and I was on my college dance team. Yeah. And that was like way less intense, but during college, because we had to fit in these like tiny little uniforms. Yeah. And so at the time I was like, I need to lose like 10 pounds. I didn't, but like I was, you know, spinning my wheels about that. And so I was in the gym like so much, and I ended up losing my period. And at the time I like honestly didn't really think anything of it. Yeah. I was like, oh, my period's gone. Yeah. Like, that's very strange. Yeah. But in hindsight, like 3 years later, I was like, that was 100% because I was over exercising and I was not eating enough. And so after that, fast forward, I weight trained for like 5-6 years, built a lot of muscle, and I loved it up until a point where maybe similar to you, like my body was just like, I think we're done with this. Yeah. I was like puffy. I was like holding on to so much water. I just felt inflamed. And I was like, I don't think like, I don't know. I think everybody is very different, and you need things at certain phases in your life. But I just felt like it had done what it needed to do for me, and it was great. But then I was like, this is just not agreeing with me anymore. Yeah. So I kind of stopped weight training for a while, and I went to go travel for a year, and I honestly didn't work out like at all. Yeah. And it was crazy because I lost so much inflammation. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, I thought that I was going to get so much unhealthier from like not working out, but it did the opposite. And so I think I needed that break. And then when I got back to Miami last year, I started running. Yeah. And I used to hate running. And once I started, I was like, this is so hard. Like, I couldn't even run half a mile without dying.
That's how I am.
Yeah. Like, I was like, I thought I was in shape. Like, what's going on? And then I just like fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And I did a half marathon.
Wow.
I've done like a couple 10Ks, and now I'm training for a triathlon.
Outside?
Yeah.
Like in the summer?
Outside.
Here?
Not in the summer. I'm going to do one in the winter time. Because I would actually die if I did a triathlon
I was going
to
say, that's
no,
insane.
you cannot hydrate enough for that. Like that is like suicide.
Wow. So how's the training going?
It's great. It's definitely been an adjustment. Like I've had to eat a lot more carbs.
Yeah.
Because my body has never really agreed with like high carb diet ever. But like with all of the cardiovascular training I'm doing, I have to eat carbs because your body just like runs through the glucose like so fast.
Yeah.
So I am eating more carbs. I started taking BHB.
Okay.
Which is beta hydroxybutyrate.
Okay.
And it's a ketone electrolyte.
Okay.
So this kind of helps because I don't have to like carb load per se, like on my trainings.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people who do triathlons or endurance training, they carb load before, like they eat a ton of carbohydrates. And I do eat carbohydrates.
Yeah.
But I also love this electrolyte because once you burn through all the glucose, you have these ketones in your blood that kind of like help keep you going.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that's been nice. But yeah, it's been a lot. It's a lot of biking, swimming, and running, which is honestly better than just running because then I kind of get to diversify things. Yeah. Which is more interesting.
Cool off in the water.
Yeah, that too.
Wow, good for you. That's amazing.
I'm still very slow.
But like the fact that you're doing that is awesome.
It's fun. I feel like I see so many people on TikTok that are like, I'm 30 now.
Yeah.
And they're like, in your 30s or late 20s, you're either getting married, having a baby, or doing a marathon. I'm like, so true.
It's so cool. Also, this is so off topic, but I'll be 30 in November. I'm like, everybody's just at such a different phase right now.
Yeah. And it's wild. I feel like all my friends from home, I'm from Virginia originally, they're all like married with babies.
Yeah.
But everyone who moved out of Virginia and like either like just moved to a different city, they're all kind of just like figuring it out still.
Yeah. I know.
Because I feel like when you move away, there's so many other things that take your attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, I think, a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So every time I'm opening up social media, like I have my personal account that I had in high school that I never use anymore, but I check in on people every once in a while. Yeah. And every time I open up the app, somebody else that I grew up with is engaged or married or just bought a house or like has their first or seventh kid on the way. Yeah. And seventh. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, it's cool because I feel like a lot of those people too are in the same area. And I was just reflecting the other day, like my life has changed so much, even from a mental health standpoint too, of making the decision to be in a new location, environment. And if that put me on a different path to like not be maybe where I thought I'd be by almost 30, but it's just, sometimes you just need the environment change, I think is also a really big thing with just all of it. Yeah. Changing your environment changes everything. I feel like we get stuck so much in like routine and our environment affects us so much, even if we don't realize it. Yeah. Like being in Miami, it's weird because when you're here, I don't feel affected by it, but when you leave, it's like a cloud like lifts and I feel so much more creative and inspired and like it just the perspective change and the environment change. I feel like everyone needs to change their environment every so often just to get a fresh perspective. You said you traveled last year for the year or just? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And how did that feel doing that? It was amazing. I went to Guatemala. Wow. And I thought I was going to be there for like 2 weeks, but I ended up staying for like 6 months. That's amazing. And because I loved it so much and I felt so free. And like going back to what I was saying before, like when I was in Miami and I was having all that acne and like all those health issues, I feel like that also was weirdly like a sign for me to like, it was like pushing me out of Miami. Cause during that time I just wasn't feeling well. And the apartment building that I was living in, there was a crack in the ceiling. And I remember sending a photo of it to my landlord and I was like, I feel like the ceiling is going to collapse. Yeah. And so she had someone come and look at it. And they were like, yeah, like you need to move out like in a week because this is like not safe to live in. Wow. And I have always wanted to go travel for like a year by myself.
and I had never done it because I just didn't feel like it was the right time.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the universe conspired to be like, you need to leave right now. It's time. And like the whole year that I was gone, I traveled alone, which was like such an amazing experience. I feel like everyone should do that.
Yeah.
My health improved, my mental health improved, my career improved. Like it was the best thing I've ever done for myself.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
And I've had such a travel bug lately because I'll be 30 in November, and I just went out of the country for the very first time.
No way.
Last year. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Like Cancun for a wedding. So like
Cancun's beautiful.
Yeah, great experience. But I was like, okay, now I really need to see things. So
Yeah.
my best friend and I are planning a Italy trip for our 30th in October.
Where in Italy are you going to go?
We're thinking Rome, Venice, and Florence.
Okay.
I was just like, I just need, I was like, I had a dream about it last night and I texted her this morning. I was like, we were on a train, like we got to book these flights. I'm just, I think also like with the mental health, going back to that, there was so much that held me back because I was really afraid of stepping out of my comfort zone, and how much of that I think kept me stuck. Because when you fear stepping out of your comfort zone and you like really like to be in what's familiar, one of my other favorite quotes is, your nervous system will almost always choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven.
I love that.
Yeah, got some good quotes.
You're full of quotes. I love
Full
it.
of them. And it kept me stuck for a while. And because you don't like what's unpredictable. And so it really, like at the time, and even when it comes to making changes or new habits or routines or even supplements, whatever it is, it's like it can be really scary to incorporate something new or go see something new or do something new or be someone new, because it's like, okay, even if this current situation or this current environment or how I'm feeling isn't comfortable, it's still comfortable in a way. Like if it's not desirable, but it's still what I know. This is my year of like, no, I'm breaking out of this even more, and I'm going to Italy.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
My sister, and I keep going back to my sister just because I feel
relate
like
to
you're
her.
so similar. She was the same way, and I feel like anxiety just keeps you kind of in a bubble because you're so scared that you're going to have a panic attack if you go somewhere. Yes. And so like you stay in your safe zone. You always have an exit that you know.
Always.
Like everything has to be planned. So like traveling, going on a plane, like all those things where you're in an enclosed space and you can't escape is like such a huge trigger.
Yeah.
And it's so wild because my sister is a skydiver now. And so she has come like completely full circle.
Wow.
Yeah, she like literally jumps out of planes like by
herself.
herself.
That's amazing.
I know. I'm like, I'm so proud of her. It's
I'm
crazy.
proud of her too. I don't even know her.
Yeah, it's wild seeing like how you can be. It's just really inspiring. I think like for everyone, whether it's like anxiety or health or whatever, like how you can go from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
If you work on yourself and you like push through it, and like getting out of your comfort zone is the most magical, amazing thing, and it will do so much for you. And it's never as scary as you think it is.
No. It's always like, another quote actually I have is, when you worry about something, you're putting yourself through it twice. Because it's like, right? You're making it up in your mind, and you're basically living the experience. Your body's feeling the anxiety and the nausea's kicking in, whatever your anxious symptoms are. And then most of the time, what you're worrying about doesn't actually happen. And if it does, it's not as bad as you thought. But like at the very most, you're going to go through it twice. Yeah. But it always pays off. Getting yourself out of it and just forcing yourself to like, just to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. And that goes for like routine too. Like
everything.
I think we all get so stuck in our routine, like even down to the most granular thing, like what you eat for breakfast. Yeah. Like if you just switch something up a little bit, you can see that you like something so much better. It makes you feel so much better. Yeah. And just like changing, like change is, I love change.
It's good. And it's
the best thing ever.
One little thing at a time too. Like you don't have to just throw everything away or do every single thing differently tomorrow, but it's like over time, the more little, like all of those little things are going to add up.
Yeah. It's the only way you grow.
Yeah.
15 minutes. Let's see what else we gotta. That. Okay, I think we actually covered all of the product time. Okay, the fun segment. Did you look at that?
Briefly, yes.
Okay.
Is this like the quick? Yeah.
Yeah. Short form gold. Stack it or skip it. Quick take reactions. Okay.
Is this like a quick yes or no?
I think so.
Okay.
It's stack it or skip it. So they want quick take reactions to wellness trends.
Okay.
Okay, so speaking of making change and wellness stuff.
Here we go.
Let's do a little stack it or skip it.
Okay.
So I'm going to say like a random wellness thing, and then you have to say like stack it, like put it in your wellness routine, or skip it.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Cold plunges.
Oh, I'm going to be bad at this because like...
Right? I'm so bad at these things too because I'm like, well, it depends.
Well, it really depends on where are you at in your cycle and how often are you doing it.
Yeah.
Skip.
Okay.
And I can't say more. I can't just, okay, skip.
Yeah. Powdered probiotics.
Skip. I'm like looking for your reaction.
Liposomal supplements.
A stack. I'm like, what's the word?
A pass. You're going to say
stack
or pass. Smash.
Smash or pass.
Fasting.
Skip.
Tongue scraping.
What's the stack? There's two. Wait, stack or skip?
Stack or skip. Stack is like I'm adding it to my wellness routine.
Stack. Do not miss a day.
Okay. Adaptogens.
Depending.
On what? We can elaborate a little.
Okay. I'm only saying depending because I just did a bunch of lab work with my functional practitioner, and I think she has me on one adaptogen, but then she's like, don't take any others because of whatever. So I will say in general, okay, stack.
Okay.
Cut all that out. Just stack it.
Detox teas.
Pass. Pass. Yeah.
So,
wait. Why am I forgetting what the words are? Stack or pass?
Yeah, no, stack or skip.
I've been saying pass this whole time.
Whatever, same thing. Juice cleanses.
Skip.
Celery juice.
Skip. But I will say, see, I can't play this game. I will say there is I don't think any of this stuff is bad, but I think people will use it as, okay, I'm doing this, and then nothing else. So I don't think these things are cure-alls.
Agreed.
Like something like a detox tea or a celery. I think it could be great, but it's not going to fix every single one of your issues if this is the only thing you're doing.
Yeah.
So, okay. Skip.
Parasite cleanses.
Stack.
Antioxidants.
Stack.
Saunas.
Stack.
Red light therapy.
Stack.
Protein powder.
Stack depending on the protein powder.
Why?
There's a lot with a bunch of artificial sweeteners and flavors and just stuff you don't need. Mm-hmm. So I'm pro get most of your protein nutrients from Whole Foods, but it's great if it's a good quality one with good ingredients. It's a great addition.
Do you prefer whey protein or pea protein or soy?
I'm actually using one right now that has beef protein. I've been trying the beef protein ones because I'm still I've been slowly reintroducing dairy back in, and I'm hit or miss with it. So I was doing the pea protein and hit or miss with that too on how my stomach reacts. But the beef protein, actually, my body responds great.
How long have you been dairy free?
7 or 8 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I miss it. So I've been trying to slowly reintroduce it.
Have you noticed any negative symptoms when you've been eating it more?
Skin. Yeah, so similar to what you were saying about the acne, I came off the birth control pill when I was 23 or 24, so however many years ago, 5-6 years ago, and I started breaking out my back.
Oh,
yeah, my face stayed clear, but specifically just back. And
it's better than the face.
Yeah, you can hide it, but it's just annoying, especially living. I'm in a bathing suit half the year, the entire year. So the dairy would flare that up sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was the only thing. My stomach was fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
I'm just reading what's they're wanting me to do. I don't really know what they mean by this. Because they said stack it or skip it and then tips at the bottom. They said then say that's why I use. I don't know what they mean by that. Did I say digestive enzymes for stack it or skip it?
No.
Okay. Working out fasted.
Skip.
Okay. Sleep supplements like melatonin.
Stack.
Digestive enzymes.
Stack.
Cool. Okay. Now we have a build your stack challenge.
Oh God. Okay. More challenges.
So you have to build a 2 to 3 product stack for each of the things that I'm going to say.
Okay.
A stressful week.
Like I have to tell you what supplement?
Yeah, you can add like wellness things in there too.
Okay. A stressful week.
Yeah.
Adaptogens. There's always like something else I need to add here. From the list you gave me or whatever I think of.
Whatever you think.
Okay. So I think adaptogens would be great. Slow-paced walks.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Can I touch on this real quick?
Yes,
Actually, this
please.
is a big one. I walk at a New Yorker pace. I've always been such a fast walker. And my friend pointed out we were on a walk a few months ago, and she's like, you've been trying to regulate your nervous system, and every time we go on a walk, it's supposed to be something grounding, and you were like sprinting. I was like, yeah, I do this. So I've been doing these slow-paced, just intentional, unplugged walks where no phone, no podcast, no music, no distractions, and just walking like uncomfortably slow, like more than I'm used to. And it's been the most healing, grounding thing because it just gets you like, it's just a time to like just let your body just relax and chill. And the Oura Ring always says it works. So with my stress levels, you ever try it?
I love that.
Yeah.
It's actually so smart because I feel like anytime I go on a walk, I'm either listening to music or a podcast or I'm like
Always.
talking on the phone. And we don't realize how overstimulating that is. And so we're always stimulated.
My day is a constant just overstimulation like 24/7.
Yeah.
And on social media and like responding to things and constant. So I'm like, okay, my walks, I've noticed I was starting to get uncomfortable with the silence. And I was like, okay, I really need to just like give my mind a time to just like have absolutely nothing except like being outside and being in nature. So slow paced walk. You said 3 things?
Yeah.
Night routines. I don't know if that's too broad, but
What do you have in your night routine?
I have red light therapy, journaling, and I have like this is more recent because I was really bad actually at scrolling before bed, like up until probably like 6 weeks ago. But I do no phone I aim for the last hour before bed and just dim lights in the apartment, just trying to just get my body to wind down without the overstimulation of the entire world on the other side of my screen.
Yeah. The phone and the TV before bed are so bad. I mean, the blue light is one thing, but just the content of it is like so much for our brains.
Well, I was dealing with insomnia, and then I saw, ironically, I think I saw a TikTok on this, and it was like, you complain that you can't sleep, but yet you're consuming like every single piece of news in the entire world, like right before you go to sleep. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not helping me.
Yeah. Do you have dreams? Do you dream a lot? I have the craziest dreams in the morning.
Really?
And I really think it's because I'm on my phone before bed now.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. And it's always in my REM sleep. It's after I wake up and then I go back to bed in the morning. I have the most vivid dreams. I hate it.
I'll notice my dreams will be correlated if I watch a video before bed. All of a sudden, like that person or whatever it is in my dream.
In the
Like,
dream.
yeah, I'm really like consuming a lot of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good. Okay. Build your stack for PMS or hormonal chaos.
Okay. Off script real quick, can I ask you, is there a supplement I should recommend to you?
You could say liposomal curcumin just for general inflammation.
How do you pronounce it? Curcumin?
Curcumin.
I always get that wrong. Okay. All right. Ask me again.
Okay. Build your stack for PMS or hormonal chaos.
Okay. I would say lower intensity workouts. I'm really big on the raw carrots.
Oh, yeah. For
Raw
the
carrot a
estrogen.
day keeps the estrogen at bay. Yeah. And then supplement wise, if there is anything, I would say the liposomal curcumin.
Love that.
Yeah.
A travel day, which you'll be needing soon.
Yeah. This is coming. Electrolytes, for sure. Electrolytes. The glutathione. Yeah. Okay. Electrolytes. Digestive enzymes, for sure. And glutathione, which I have not tried yet, but now I will be.
You got to try
for
it.
this Italy trip. Yeah.
It's a good one.
For sure.
Okay. Build your stack for a big workout day. A lot of sweating.
A lot of sweating. Electrolytes. You know what I really like doing is I've gotten on the honey and salt trend.
I've seen that. I like that.
Yeah, because I was doing I have cleaner pre-workout or cleaner energy drinks, and I was like, this caffeine is just making me want to crawl out of my skin. So I'll do that sometimes if I'm up for it, or I'll do a little raw honey and salt and just in a spoonful just for the little carb boost. So that's great. And can I do 2 for this one?
Yes.
Thank you.
2 to 3. So you could do 2
Oh,
for
okay.
all.
I thought it was 3. Okay.
Okay, this next one. You can ask me this one.
Okay.
If you want. A focused work day.
A focused work day?
Yeah.
Okay, what would your stack be for a focused work day?
A nootropic.
Okay.
I love those.
Okay.
They're like a bunch of supplements and stuff that helps stimulate your brain and helps you focus. Caffeine, because I love coffee. And electrolytes to balance out the dehydration,
Yes.
but also,
So important.
yeah, from the coffee.
Love. Your next stack, a gut reset weekend.
Digestive enzymes. There's this new supplement. It's called Gut Solustix, and it has slippery elm and L-glutamine and all these things that are really, really good.
Yeah.
And then drinking a lot of water because you got to flush the system.
Yes.
So going back to the whole gut-brain connection thing, because I think that's everything for both of us. What's something that your gut knows before your brain does?
When something is not for you. Specifically, and this has been my own personal experience, relationships.
Oh.
Yeah. I think a lot of times our body, just honestly, that gut feeling, that intuitive feeling, but your gut is known as your second brain. And I think sometimes it'll tell you before mentally you're ready to accept it. So, and this could be for a job, an environment that you're living in, but I think the overall environment aspect of that, which comes with the relationships, I think a lot of times your gut will know something is off before maybe your brain wants to accept it.
Yeah. It goes back to our intuition.
Yeah.
But do you feel does that for you and your past experiences with this sort of stuff, does it show up as a sensation, a stomach ache, or is it more of just a general feeling of dis-ease?
I think both. I think my body will tell me, if something feels really unsettling for me, I will get anxious or that nausea usually just the anxious and the nausea, the anxiety and nausea. But there's that general dis-ease. And I think this is also something that was really hard to navigate and still can be if you deal with anxiety is it my anxiety or is it my intuition? And what I've learned is intuition is just a calm, guided knowing. And anxiety is more of that hyperfixation, obsessive feeling and overanalyzing. And so a lot of times when I think your gut is telling you something before your brain is, it's a little bit of that gentle nudge.
Yeah.
And then it catches up to your brain.
That's such a hard distinction to make, especially when you try and ignore it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel there's been times in my life where I feel I've known that, for example, a relationship was wrong for me, but it's hard to know what's a mental thought, oh, maybe this situation or this person isn't meant for me right now, or if it's a feeling.
Yeah.
And I think we're at this constant battle between our intuition and our logic. And it's so hard to piece that together and make decisions from that place of confusion and to figure out what actually is our intuition.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been there so many times too. I've been in a handful of just unhealthy, toxic relationships. And I think deep down I knew. Yeah. But it's a hard thing to break out of.
Yeah, because you try and make excuses, you try and fit them into your life. They become part of you, and it's it's a hard, like that goes back to the whole identity thing as well. It's like to make these changes in anything, even like friendships, it feels like you're ripping away a part of who you are. And that's tough.
Yeah. And that goes into the familiar hell over the unfamiliar heaven. It's like, you're so comfortable, even though you know this isn't for you, but it's comfortable until you know.
Yeah. Was there something that helped you start to listen to your intuition more?
I think I really just reached my breaking point of I'm tired of reliving the same situation over and over again. Because I was, especially when it came to relationships, I was getting to the same relationship over and over again, just like different person, but same experience.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized this was a result of me not listening to that voice and that feeling I had off the bat. And I would ignore it and push it aside. I'd be like, no, but I really like this person, or like, he's so whatever. And then I would fall into it. And I think I really learned of like, okay, this has gotten us into a lot of really just unhealthy situations. And if you have that gut feeling like from the start, more often than not, it's going to be right.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to go through it multiple times before you can actually recognize those patterns in yourself or in other people, before you're like, oh, this is it again.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
I've lived this. Yeah.
It's tricky. What does your body tell you when you start to get really run down, or when you're like nearing a burnout phase?
So I am very extroverted typically. Like, I love social settings. I love being around people. I will want to just like be a hermit, and I will start to feel nausea is just like a very typical thing for me when it comes to my body trying to tell me anything usually. So my appetite will get off. Like, I'll notice that I just I'm not feeling conversational. My body just gets tired. Like, it's hard to describe the feeling, but it's like my body will tell me immediately. It's like, if you haven't rested enough or you've been so go, it's like I will crave just like sitting on my couch in silence for like 24 hours. And
I feel that.
Yeah, like I had a day like that I think it was on Saturday this past weekend, a few days ago. I was like, I woke up, I ate breakfast, and I moved to my couch, and I stayed there until 5 p.m. And I was like, that was a perfect day, like the best day.
We need that.
Yeah, and I think there's so much pressure too of like, I have to be productive, or like, how can I make this a productive rest day? And I'm like, your body will literally force a rest day on you if you don't schedule one out.
100%.
And it will usually not be at like a convenient time for you.
Yeah. Like, if you don't take care of yourself, your body is going to force you to.
Yeah, yeah. And so even back to like the rest days and how I was barely ever giving myself rest days, I'm like, maybe there's days before work where I don't need to wake up at 3:45 a.m. and then go work an 8-hour shift. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
It was insane. Yeah. And yeah, your body it needs that. And also it was showing up like in that season, it was showing up as my skin got really bad. I was bloated every single day. I was exhausted. I was irritable. And I was like, okay, well, this is also a way I think my body is trying to communicate with me about something being off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the same. Usually my stomach starts to get off, and then emotionally I just like completely shut down. If someone tries to talk to me, I like can have like a one-word response, and then I'm like so introverted. It's painful. I'm like, I need some alone time.
It's painful.
Yeah. But yeah, our bodies will tell us when we need to slow down, stop everything, and just like be alone for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Ooh, this is a good one. What's a wellness belief that you've let go of?
That's a good question. A wellness belief I've let go of. Say it 7 more times so I can think about this one. Give me a second for this one, actually. A wellness belief I've let go of.
I feel like I've let go of so many wellness beliefs.
Yeah. I think a big one that a big wellness belief I've let go of is that healing is going to be linear. And
I love that. I say that one all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I still struggle with this sometimes, where because I was so used to being sick for so many years and like there always being a symptom, I'll be on a really great track of, oh my God, my digestion's been great, my skin's been great, mentally I've been feeling great, energetically, whatever. And all of a sudden I'll have a day or maybe a week or even a couple weeks where all of a sudden my skin flared up or I'm feeling anxious or something's just off. And mentally I'm like, oh, I just lost all my progress, or like something's here that I need to fix or whatever it is. And it's just healing is not meant to go like this the entire time. And I think a lot of times people get really defeated or like what I'm doing isn't working, so they'll change everything up or they'll just freak out, get really anxious. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing of healing is meant to look one specific way, when it's just not. And everybody has different needs, which kind of goes into, I'll give you two beliefs, because another one is that one thing is going to work for everybody. And I think that's the rabbit hole also that people can get stuck in on social media, specifically with everyone promoting something or talking about something or what's worked for them, because all of that's great. And yeah, that's been their experience. But bio-individuality is so important. And you just really have to be in tune with your own body. Because like I was vegan for 4 years and
same.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt great at the time, and then my body was done with it. And I'm like, people will rave about it and say they feel amazing, and then people will rave about being carnivore and they'll feel amazing. I'm like, you really have to just not fall into one specific way and be open-minded and recognize that like your body might have different needs than somebody else's.
Exactly. And it really is tough on social media because there's so many absolutes, and that's what gets the most attention, is saying something controversial or saying like a crazy claim that's like, this is the only way to do something. And that builds like this crazy fan base of people being like, yes. Yeah. And you see it everywhere. Like the carnivore MD had his whole thing. Yeah. Medical medium. Like there's all of these people that have these like, it's basically like a kind of a cult, you know, like they have this crazy following, but then you see later they kind of like change their tune and like shift things. Yeah. Like the carnivore MD, you know who that is? Paul Saladino. He was like crazy about the carnivore diet, and now he's like switched to the animal-based diet, and he eats like fruit and stuff like that. And I'm not saying people can't change their mind, because I think that's one of the greatest signs of intelligence is people being able to change their mind on things. Yep. But it's tough to navigate the social media space when there's so many people shouting these absolutes. Yeah. And I think that's honestly, I think one of the biggest things that, like one of the biggest reasons people get sick and unwell is because they're constantly changing their diet every couple months, like in drastic ways. And that just sends people on the craziest health roller coaster and causes so much dysregulation in the body.
Because you're listening to other people versus listening to yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
And it takes a lot of time to backtrack from that and like learn your intuition again and like learn your body and like your hunger cues and your fullness cues and when to rest and when to push yourself too. Like we lose touch with like all of that. Yeah. And to get that back, I think, is like the journey back to health.
Yeah, 100%.
So I guess talking about like social media and absolutes, what are some wellness trends or like diets or supplements that you've ditched aside from veganism? Because we both ditched that.
Yeah, veganism. Low carb. I tried to do that for a bit too, and that did not, my body and hormones did not love that one. Especially when I was overtraining like crazy. I followed, not strictly, but I was following a lot of medical mediums like the celery juice and the juice cleanses and all of that, or I was trying to do low sugar or sugar free, and a lot of that is actually just artificial sugar. So I think a lot of and this was more early on in my like wellness journey, but a lot of the like fad trends and diets I was definitely heavily falling into, because you see like, oh, this stuff works. Yeah. I'd say those are probably the main ones.
What are some things that you've done that you're actually like, oh, this is really good for my body. My body likes this.
Nervous system regulation every day, whether it's I'll put my legs up on the wall for 10 to 15 minutes or my slow nature walks, the phone free nighttime routines that I'm getting better at every day. Water in the morning before, like just right away hydrating, tongue scraping. Once you start, you never go back.
I haven't gotten into that. I used to have a tongue scraper. Yeah. But I think I moved and I lost it or something. Yeah. What's the science behind that? I know like the oral microbiome is very important.
That, and also I'm just like,
because it's gross.
So gross. Once you see what comes off. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Let's get rid of it.
Now like mentally I'm like, if I don't tongue scrape, that stays. Yeah, yeah. So it's knowing that. Big like oral gut connection, but yeah, it's more just like once you start, you're like, yeah, let's keep doing that. I'm not perfect with this every day, but I do try to eat a high protein breakfast within the first like hour and a half of waking. Try to do caffeine after breakfast. There's a lot that I've been doing really specifically for my nervous system and hormones lately, because I've been on a whole like hormone and nervous system kind of like protocol. Yeah, I'd say those are probably the big ones right now.
Did you have a hormonal imbalance, or you just felt like things were off?
Yeah, I just got my hormones retested 2 months ago, I think, and cortisol was through the roof, progesterone was low. So there's things that I'm like, it's frustrating too, because I'm like, you could be doing all the right things, and it's, again, healing's not going to be linear, and your body can still, yeah.
I did Function Health.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, which was really eye-opening for me.
Yeah.
I was like, everything's going to be perfect. Wasn't.
No. How old were you?
I think I was 21.
Okay. I was 14. 14. It was a little scary.
You're a baby.
I was like, I don't think this is healthy. Like,
I do think they, I don't know what they're like, how they test that, but everyone I've seen is like at least 10 years younger than their age.
Yeah. I'm like, that is like pre-puberty or like mid-puberty. I'm
so
like,
true.
I was like, I don't know if this is good for my hormones.
Yeah.
Like 14.8 specifically, like my biological age. I'm like,
what?
Yeah.
What age were you when you got your period?
Like 13. I was like, okay, a year.
Basically prepubescent.
Yeah. I'm like, perfect. I don't know. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I did Function Health. I had low leptin, which our mutual friend
Me
Illy,
too.
You had low leptin?
Yes. Mine was like a
What's up
3
with that?
something.
Mine was like 2.8.
Okay, that makes me feel better. Yeah, I think I was at 3.1.
Yeah, and like leptin is your satiety hormone.
Yeah.
But apparently it's like, I'm like just learning about the depths of leptin.
Yeah, no, me too.
Because I was talking to Illy, who also has low leptin, and I was like, wait, oh my God. Because I didn't really, when I did the test and I got the results back, I was like, oh, it's because I was fasted.
That's
so
what I thought.
Of course my leptin's going to be low.
Yeah.
But then I was like looking into it more, and I was like, this like maybe makes sense, but I feel normal.
I feel like my appetite's normal. I feel like I get full normal. Yeah, I was confused by it, but yeah, I want to do. Have you done like the follow-up testing?
I haven't yet.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't either, because I just did the testing, I think like 2 or 3 months ago. So I'll go in a few months, and I'm curious.
I'm very
curious. I was also just reading Illy's whole blog on it of like all of her tips.
Me
I'm like,
too.
okay, this is it.
Yeah. It's all so interesting, because like all of my other hormones were normal, but that one was off, and then my cholesterol was high.
Same.
Okay.
Every single person that I've talked to that's also in the wellness space that's done this test said the same thing.
Huh.
So I'm like, yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And then I had a lot of autoimmune markers.
Me too.
Are we the same person?
Are we the same? Yeah, all of my, because I think they test for like one autoimmune, and if that gets flagged, then they do more.
Yes.
Yeah, all of them were flagged. I was also a few months, I was like a month post-surgery. I got surgery on my elbow. So I don't know if that could have, I also had I was really anxious to get that much blood taken.
Yeah.
So I had such bad insomnia. I slept an hour the night before.
Oh my God.
Which I was like, I should probably not get blood work done after this.
Yeah.
But I was like, this could happen next month too, and you have to like get it done so specifically in your cycle. I was like, I'm going, I don't care.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what messed up my leptin, or it was like, hey, you might have autoimmune. But I was like, we'll retest and see.
Yeah, we'll see. I was also anxious. I hate getting my blood drawn. The last time actually, it wasn't when I got blood drawn, like for that, like for testing or anything, but I donated blood, and I fainted after in the shower, and I split my chin open. I have a huge scar on my chin.
Oh my God.
And that was the last time I ever gave blood, and I was like, bleh.
How were you with the 12 vials?
I made my friend Jenna come with me.
Yeah, my friend came with me.
But they wouldn't let her in the room. And I was like, so she had to stand outside of the room, and I was like, I just wanted her to hold my hand, but she couldn't. But it was actually fine. It was a breeze.
Yeah. And I brought snacks with me. I was like, can I sit and eat this before I stayed up? She's like, no. She's like, we have more people that need to come in. I was like,
they're harsh in there.
They are. I'm like, this is a really vulnerable time for me. You're taking a lot of my blood. Like, just let me sit and eat my applesauce.
Yeah, like you have a thing in my arm.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Let me relax for a second. But those tests are very, very interesting. But I don't stress over them too much, because I'm like, I feel fine.
Yeah.
So I'm not like making any drastic changes. My diet's good. Like, I'm not worried
Were
about
your
it.
vitamin D levels on the lower side?
They were within range, but I don't remember if
I was in
lower.
range, but I was like, for living in Florida, they should be higher. And that's why I was also like the liposomal vitamin D. I was like, that's probably something that should be
good for you.
Yeah. My practitioner was like, I need you taking a vitamin D supplement. I was like, but I'm always in the sun. She's like, it's not doing it for you.
It's not absorbing.
Like, yeah.
It's crazy how many people are vitamin D deficient.
Yeah. It's so many of my friends too that did the testing. I'm like, we're all in the sun all the time. But like, yeah.
It's very strange. I mean, I'm in the sun a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever had low vitamin D.
Yeah. Mine was, they said in range, but it was like a 40 or something. I'm like, for as much as I'm outside, this probably should be higher.
Yeah. I need to like look over my results again. But I'm excited to retest and see if anything's changed. Because I also, before, I know you're not supposed to exercise before. This was like in the depths of my half marathon training. And so I ran 7 miles before I got my blood done.
Like the same day?
The same morning.
And you didn't pass out?
I didn't pass out.
Oh my God.
That's why when my cholesterol was so high, I was like, it's probably from that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
So next time I should actually follow the rules.
I would, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Do you have any supplements that you take religiously? Or do you kind of cycle them in and out?
I cycle in and out. I do like taking magnesium before bed.
Okay.
Aside from that, it really just depends on, because I've been working with a functional practitioner for the past like 7 months or so. So right now I'm just following her lead of like what to take depending on like my lab work. Digestive enzymes are something that I will take if I'm eating meals out specifically. Mm-hmm. And then usually some type of gut support, whether it's a probiotic or slippery elm or something like that. But it rotates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same for the most part. I feel like I'm always trying new things.
Yeah.
But right now, the ones that I'm like really religious on are the curcumin, glutathione.
Yeah.
And then I don't take a digestive enzyme every day, but if I'm having like, if I'm going out to eat and I know I'm going to be like eating a lot of gluten and stuff like that, I can totally tolerate gluten. But sometimes it makes me a little bloated. Yeah. So then I take the digestive enzyme with me. And electrolytes.
I do those daily too.
Yeah.
I will say, yes.
I'm so bad at drinking water.
Yeah.
I've gotten better though, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like I'm constantly drinking water and constantly peeing. It's just a cycle that I'm always in. So I'm like.
Literally. I've been drinking the BHB, the electrolyte ketone. Yeah. Like all day. Yeah. Because it just tastes really good. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm drinking too much of this or not, but I think it should be fine.
It's important for where we live too.
I know. Yeah. Because it's so hot here. I feel like I'm sweating so much and you have to drink so much water to replenish that.
And we just hit the first day of summer.
Today was the first day of summer.
I think on Sunday or Saturday.
That's not even accurate because it's been a gajillion degrees.
I know. We've got like 5 months left.
And then we have hurricane season.
Were there tornadoes here yesterday?
What?
I saw
tornadoes.
This girl posted a story in Miami of 2 like tornadoes or water spouts or something coming into the water. Yeah.
I didn't even hear about that.
I was like in Miami, like right here. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Not that I'm glad I didn't know about that because I would have been freaking out.
Yeah.
The weather here scares me.
Deep breath.
Tornadoes. Okay. Okay. I guess just to close out, if you could go back and tell your younger self like one thing, what would it be?
Your body is capable of healing given half a chance.
Your quotes, I love them.
I got to stick with it. Yeah, just it's just that you don't have to be stuck with whatever it is that you're dealing with, and especially when it comes to your mental health and the anxiety and gut issues and however frustrating your symptoms might feel, your body is capable of feeling better, and just to not be so afraid of doing things differently because you have no idea how good things can get.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. It's been so fun.
I know, I love this.
And your story is so inspiring. And I think it just goes to show how much things can change. And if you put in the effort and you're not scared to get out of your comfort zone, you can transform and become the best version of you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course.